It is 12:03. We have a roll call.
Oscar Salinas present.
Nerida Cantu present.
Claudia Ochoa present.
Alex Cantu present.
Armin Garza present.
Dr. Science, I do declare a quorum.
Thank you, Mrs. Ochoa. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Next item, we have the tax collector's report. I'll need a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Cantu,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of minutes.
Also move on both items 1 and 2.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas, second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have superintendent's report, and there are
No items.
no items. Moving on to discussion items. Item number 1, discussion of student recruitment action plan.
And for this, we'll have Ms. Blanca, our PR coordinator, tell us about the student recruitment plan.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blanca Cantu. I'm the Public Information Officer for La Jolla ISD. I do have a recruitment plan, student recruitment action plan that we have strategically planned in our department to help aid that recruitment that we need for our district. And so it is the mission of the Public Information Office to develop and maintain information and communication supportive of the district's program through various media within the school community and with the external print and broadcast media, thereby creating a positive and supportive environment where all students will succeed. We did come up with 7 strategies, and the first one will be our district newspaper. We have planned to work with our PR reps to strategize the streamline and content of this newspaper. So we'll be moving more forward into more of quality rather than quantity, and we do want to highlight our schools as well as our students. We will do a redesign of this newspaper, and this is going to be a monthly newspaper that we will be publishing. We do currently have a 37,000 redistribution as of right now that we are sending home. Every elementary student is receiving one, and then we're strategically placing amounts in the secondary level at the campuses. We do also have the strategic places that we have this newspaper in. We do cover the libraries in our cities, and we do cover some of our stores, like, for example, Walmart, that we do share that information there as well. We're going to be moving a little bit more forward with this into a mail-out sample now, and we want to be able to work with the map of locations and where our students are, and so that's going to be a mail out now to the residents and the homes. Sometimes, since they had more than one student, they were receiving various newspapers at this time. So this would help with cost efficiency. They will be receiving one in their homes. And so right now our run is at 37,000, and looking into the map, we've already cut down around 10,000 if we do the mail out option. Our second strategy is the targeted outreach campaign. And so with this, it's more of campaigns that we're going to target certain areas if we need to. For example, if we need to highlight our designated campuses for recruitment. And so we will target the district and then outside district boundaries as to where these kids have been withdrawn from, and we would target those areas with door hangers, and publicizing these different options that we have in our district. The transportation availability now that we have for students in the designated campuses, and then also the enrollment and registration information that we want for parents to know about. And so that would be the starting point in these strategies for that targeted outreach strategy. Our next strategy would be the digital campaign. And with that, the digital campaign moving into forward with the 21st century, everything is digitalized and everybody has their phones. And so it is more appropriate to do something in the digital world and promote ourselves there. And so where it says geographic target at geofencing locations, that is an example for example, if we're at a football game, we can create a geofence there and we can make an ad that can pop up when they access their phones. And so that's very targeted. And so we can do that for special events, for example, football games, La Jolla events, or district-wide events. Number 5, a recruitment brochure. And so with the recruitment brochure, we were thinking of frequently asked questions that they have. And it's a little bit more of highlighting what we have. For example, our pre-K program. Some of the other school districts only offer the half-day pre-K program. And so we would tell them why it is good to have a full-day pre-K program instead of a half-day. And another example would be why we have social workers maybe at every campuses and why that is important as well. So there's still going to be different things that we're going to target in that category. The parent ambassadors, number 6, we're thinking to work with our parent volunteers. And so in their monthly meetings, the public relations department will have something for them to take and talk about to the parents of those campuses. For example, whether it be that month would be the noticiero, or where it be an enrollment ad, there's always going to be a topic that they're going to be speaking about to the parents at the individual campuses. And then to end, we would want to, of course, highlight our alumni. We think that our alumni is very important, and we have very successful alumni, and we want our kids to know that it is possible. There's ways that you can have your dream can come true. There's very successful people. We want to bring those alumni back so that the kids can see it can be done. They're La Jolla graduates, and this is where they're at now. So just to wrap up the strategies that we're thinking, that is the effort, in an effort to meet the goal identified in the LGISD District Improvement Plan, the La Jolla ISD is committed to monitoring and assisting family and community engagement strategies, as well as school business partnerships to support La Jolla ISD's instructional programs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blanca.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Blanca, on the volunteer outreach, where are we recruiting volunteers from?
That's going to be something with our teachers already. And we're thinking that our teachers are going to have to be the spokesperson for their campuses. And so we want our teachers teachers and staff to be, and that's something that we want to plan with them because we do want to reward them at that time.
So that would be like teacher walks in their.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
No. Thank you, Blanca.
Perfect. Moving on to item number 2 under discussion items, discussion of the 2019-2020 district-wide attendance plan.
Get the. What do you need?
Thank
Okay, good afternoon, Madam President, distinguished board members, Dr. Science, and attendees in the audience. My name is Ricardo Villarreal. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Student Services for La Joya Independent School District. And the first item I'm going to be discussing is your first page, which is the district-wide attendance plan. The district-wide attendance plan is designed to guide the school district toward improving student achievement and, of course, student attendance. Monitoring will be done on a daily basis by both the Office of Student Services and the campuses. Plan indicates goals, tasks, and strategies that will be implemented throughout the school year. If you look at the top of the first page of the district-wide attendance plan, you see the goal at the top of the table, and we have different goals for the elementary, middle school, high school, early colleges, of course, our academies, and our Head Starts as well. And goals were set up to help earn distinctions, right, which is important to us. If you look at the left side of the table, you see at the top it says actions and tasks. And then on the right side, you see strategies and measures. I'm going to stick to the word tasks and strategies. Okay, so I'm going to start with tasks. In an overview and in cooperation with the Student Services Department, schools will carry out specific tasks such as promoting attendance, monitoring and providing support, as well as providing recognition, supporting students who are at risk of chronic absenteeism. Okay. Strategies on the right side of the table are Student Services Department as well as the campuses will hold parent meetings to inform them on compulsory attendance laws, campus goals and policies that pertain to attendance of students. Schools will review attendance goals with students and staff and parents and display them throughout the campus and reward good attendance by recognizing students on a daily, weekly, and 6 weeks basis. Sometimes you have children that can't wait for 6 weeks to be rewarded or a week. So we're going to give autonomy to the campus principals and the staff to help build these kids up. The Office of Student Services and schools will monitor attendance and provide support and interventions to students who are chronically absent or are at risk of being chronically absent. Schools will implement interventions and effectively reduce chronic absenteeism and truancy. These interventions include monitoring, creating student-parent contracts, and celebrations for improved attendance. The Office of Student Services will also monitor attendance and provide support and interventions as needed. Questions? Okay, this is
I think a highlight of this plan is that the attendance rates for 2019, 2020 are higher than we have set goals for attendance. And because we know it's hard work and our staffs are going to do whatever they can to make sure that kids are in school every day, we are going to give monetary incentives to the schools that meet their attendance goals. So I think that's a big highlight. So
big
thank you,
plus.
Mr.
And thank you,
Villarreal.
Dr. Science,
Yes.
for
And
allowing
then
us.
another point in this plan is that the last step is we have a student withdrawal protocol, and we don't want to lose students because we did not provide appropriate services. So we're going to try our very best that when a parent announces that they are withdrawing a student from our system, we have steps in place to fix the problem and make sure that we keep the kids. And that's a student withdrawal protocol that we
Correct, which is
developed.
the next item.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then you're going to mention the next item?
The
Get
next-
right into the next item, which is the student retention plan, which deals with withdrawals.
Okay, so next item is item number 3, discussion of the 2019-2020 student retention plan.
Okay, Ms. Ochoa. The student retention plan, the purpose of the student retention plan is to prevent and reduce withdrawals, as well as to improve ADA enrollment in our school district. Tasks and strategies for retaining students are specified in the plan. If you look at the table at the top, where it says goal, the goal is to reduce withdrawals to maintain and increase enrollment from the October 25th PEAMS submission date to the last day of school, which is going to be May 28th, 2020. Why these dates? Because these are the dates that we use to submit to the state. All right, and then look, it's the same, we use the same actions and tasks on the left side, and the same measures and strategies on the right side. And in brief, an overview of the plan for the actions and tasks of our student retention plan. The Office of Student Services and campuses will implement tasks that support and encourage student retention, as well as prevent and reduce withdrawals, like Dr. Saenz mentioned earlier. And of course, monitoring will be done by our department and the campuses on a daily basis. Strategies, on the right side of your table, all schools will establish a committee to develop goals and an action plan. Committees will meet regularly to review data, statuses, and progress. We're keeping our withdrawals to a minimum. That's the goal. The Office of Student Services, along with all schools, will make every effort to retain students who are experiencing an issue or issues. Sometimes kids don't just have issues at a campus. It might be a personal issue or some other issue that they don't make us aware of. So we're going to use effective approaches, which include addressing student needs immediately, hosting student family conferences, engaging the parents in our decision-making process, and making school events more open to the parents. All to make for a better working environment for our staff and better environment for the students, and of course, making parents happy, which is what we want. Everybody wins. Finally, the Office of Student Services, along with the campus, will identify appropriate activities that promote retention and improve school culture. The Office of Student Services and the campus principal will implement the withdrawal protocol to identify withdrawal reasons and provide solutions in order to retain students. The final piece of the retention plan is the withdrawal protocol, which you have in your hands. I believe this one right here. And the first two pages, front and back, delineate the steps, which every campus will receive one of these, and it'll be on our web as well. And then the next two pages delineate the second page, real quick. The second page explains, pretty much gives the information of the parent, the student, and the reason. The second and third page have steps 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to go ahead and, in brief, go over the steps and the process, if I may. We go back to page 1. La Jolla SD Student Withdrawal Protocol. Our purpose is to retain students. A comprehensive withdrawal protocol process will be implemented. Details: campus administration will follow steps 1 through 7 to retain students at their schools. And I'm in step 1 now. Everybody there? Okay, step 1, prior to withdrawing a student, a parent or family conference will be conducted by the supervisor or assistant principal. If the supervisor, assistant principal, or cannot be there, then our counselor will meet with the parent. During this conference, the reason for withdrawal will be discussed. The administrator will attempt to solve any concern to keep the students in school. All efforts should be made by the school to retain the student. Conference will be documented on the exit interview record parent conference form, which is the third page. Okay, front, back, and then the front of the third page. Step 2. In event that the parent or family continues to pursue a withdrawal process, the campus principal will meet with the parent or family the following day or on a day agreed on by both parties to further attempt to solve the concern. Sometimes the meeting might happen that day, right? We might not want to wait a day or two. All efforts should be made by the principal to retain the student. And then again, the conference will be documented on the exit interview record parent conference form, level 2. Step 3, if the parent still insists on withdrawing the student, the principal will contact the Student Services Office. Student Services Office will assign appropriate personnel. Sometimes it might be a transportation issue. It might be a student with special needs issue. It might be a different department, not necessarily the curriculum instruction or the student services department. And the central office staff member and the principal will meet with the parent and her family member on a day agreed on to solve the issue or concern. All efforts should be made by the central office staff member or principal to retain the student at the campus or district. And of course, we'll document this as well on the exit interview record parent conference form level 3. We've done 3 steps to retain these, to help keep retained students. Step 4, and if at any time you have a question, go chime in. Step 4, if the student is withdrawn or stays after the process, the rest of the exit interview record is completed by the campus and placed in the student's permanent record. We noted there, if a student is withdrawn before for the code withdrawals as follow, that's important too. If the student is withdrawn before the official ADA, which is the second instructional hour, is posted, then the withdrawal is that same day. Okay. However, if a student with, let's say school starts at 10, and the student's withdrawn at 11, then the withdrawal will occur the following day. All right, that's just for us to be in line with the state, all right, and ourselves. Step 5, the principal is to report the outcome of the withdrawal conference level 2 the following day to the assistant superintendent for student services. An exit interview and parent conference form is to be emailed to myself. And there's my email address. Step 6, documentation will be kept at the school and the student services department, and these reports will also be presented at every principal's meeting, so that we may keep ourselves in check and make better business, better customers, better customer service for our students and our parents. And then finally, what if none of this happens? What if the student's withdrawing because they're moving out of the district? Well, then we stop at level 1, all right? And then the exit interview record is still reported to the Student Services Department to keep on file. And so this is a new initiative that Dr. Sines asked us to embark on, and we're gonna go ahead and do it with full strength and fidelity. And thank you to Board for allowing us to have these measures used to keep our kids too, which is what we need more of nowadays. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Villarreal. I know that I'm excited about this new retention plan because at least we're able to get some feedback to see exactly what's going on, and we're able to retain a lot more of our kids if we actually know what's going on. And I think, I think it's going to be very effective, and it should. And thank you for everything.
Thank you too, Mr. Cantu, for acknowledging.
Thank you, Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Any other questions? Moving on to item number 4, presentation of the district emergency preparedness plan.
Madam Board President, board members, Madam Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent, team, and precious audience. I'm here to advise you all, particularly in one focus, and that is the focus on hurricane preparedness in the area of sheltering. As we speak right now, as I'm speaking right now, there's an area in the Gulf right now that has a 20% chance of developing, and pretty soon in the next 5 days may go to 40% and greater, and it's really south of New Orleans and east of Houston right now, and the weather individuals, experts, are indicate that it has a 360-degree possible movement once it develops. So we need to be prepared. And having said that, traditionally, La Jolla ISD opens Memorial Middle School and La Jolla High School as our primary shelters until other shelters are needed. In your packet, I provided you with a little synopsis of when we open and who authorized the opening, and pretty much an estimated cost, who pays for it, because I know that's a very important item. At pre-incident time, it's authorized by La Jolla ISD, and the cost is paid 100% by La Jolla ISD. However, when the incident begins, then if the authorization comes from the American Red Cross, the County of Hidalgo, and or any of the 5 cities that are in our school district. That's why it says city of ... because I didn't want to put all 5 cities there that are in our city. Then we have MOUs in place to the cost goes to 50%, and it's very well delineated who pays what and when and where. However, when we get to the end of the incident or the post-incident, then the American Red Cross, County of Hidalgo, and the city of the 5 areas will be paying 50%/50% or if the incident is declared as a national disaster, then FEMA will pay 75% and La Jolla ISD will pay 25% for the sheltering, as far as that is concerned. Now, if La Jolla ISD is tasked by the state of Texas, if the state of Texas asks for sheltering, then La Jolla ISD will receive 100% of the sheltering costs reimbursed by the state of Texas. That is a special MOU that was entered about 2 years ago. Now, in my small notes, we do have specialized safe haven shelters that may pop and are open as needed. For example, the Cesar Chavez Middle School for sheltering, for sheltering is any person that works the shelters, or for La Jolla Independent School District staff, is where we isolate or put the families, because a lot of times when an incident in this magnitude occurs, you don't want to leave your families behind, you want to keep them close. So we've, within the plan, we have Cesar Chavez Middle Schools dedicated specifically for La Jolla ISD employees, as well as first responders, as far as that, for staff and family only. It is not open to the public, as far as that is concerned. But we also have, in Zapata Elementary, we also have an MOU with the Hidalgo County Sheriff, and that is if they decide to bring in 50 or 100 deputies, that's where they're going to be operating out, specifically just for Hidalgo County Sheriff, to protect the west side of the county, pretty much in the area of Precinct 3. Now, Jimmy Carter has been designated by the state of Texas for evacuees in the event that Cameron County has to be evacuated. Back in Sandy's incident that happened up in New Jersey, we took the data from there and we plugged it in to see what would have happened in the valley if the valley would experience that similar hurricane, and the tidal wave that comes, the storm wave that comes in, would have ended on the US 77 in downtown Harlingen. So that would have made a major impact on Brownsville, as far as that is concerned, and any other places. Now, for this, I'll open it for discussion in case you want to ask any specific questions about our readiness plan.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Caña.
Thank you, Dr. Caña.
Now we move on to public comments. We have public comments. We have one person. Ms. Silva, just to let you know that you have 3 minutes to make your comments to the board. And Mr. Cantu will keep time. We'll kind of let you know about 10 seconds, when you have 10 seconds left.
Thank you.
And your time starts now.
Good afternoon. My name is Mercedes Silva. I'm going on my 25th year at La Jolla ISD. And my humbly request that the board consider recognizing and giving tribute to Dr. Benavides in our General Assembly for the legacy that she left behind. Her countless, I can go on and on, it'll be more than 3 minutes of all the accomplishments that Dr. B has given this district. She is La Jolla. And I feel that, and I know that deep in your heart, you probably feel the same way as I do, that we need closure. We need to give her that tribute of everything that she's done for us. And I met her mother at a mass one time, and she's 92 years old, and she wants to know why her daughter was let go. And I didn't have an answer for her. So this would be an awesome way of showing how much we appreciate everything that she did for this district, for me. We're always talking about building relationships. She built many relationships throughout the district. So I'm requesting that you please, in the General Assembly, let all the schools give her the honor that she deserves for the legacy that she left behind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silva.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. And then under contracts. Item number 1 is contract for data management for assessment and curriculum services to the Region 1 Education Service Center for 2019-2020.
We'll move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Garza, second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, La Jolla Independent School District and Community Development Institute, Migrant Seasonal Head Start Program, Memorandum of Understanding.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Salinas, second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, Kronos Maintenance Agreement Renewal for 2019 and 2020.
So moved. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Garza, second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, Action on Legal Services Contract with Jaime J. Munoz.
I'd like to do my motion approving the contract as it is.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas, a second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
For the record, with no change.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Under Business and Finance, item number 1, application and certificate for payment of contractors' fees number 3 for La Jolla ISD Juan N. Seguin Elementary Chiller Replacement Project.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Garza, second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 under bids, application for payment of contractors' fees number 2 for La Jolla ISD Irene M. Garcia Middle School HVAC Renovations Project.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms.
Cantu.
Cantu, second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, contingency allowance expenditure number 1 for La Jolla ISD Irene M. Garcia Middle School HVAC Renovations Project.
Also move.
Motion by Mr. Salinas, a second by Mrs. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, district membership for Equity Center for school year 2019-2020.
So moved.
I'll second, Mr. Garza.
Motion by Mr. Garza, second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, district-wide radio communication system through Byboard Purchasing Cooperative.
So moved.
I'll
I have a
second,
motion by
Cantu.
Mrs. Cantu, second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, job order contract with Performance Services, PSI.
So moved.
Madam
Motion by
President.
Mr. Cantu.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion as recommended by legal. I recommend approval of the item pending final legal review and the acceptance of the contract for item number 6.
So I have a motion by Mr. Salinas to, and then a second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, proposal submitted by engineer for consultant services to oversee Phase 2 of the Guaranteed Energy Savings Performance Contract and Job Order Contract Project.
I'll also recommend approval of this item pending final legal review and the acceptance of all contracts.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas,
Second.
second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Under Instruction and Student Services, item number 1, ratification of extended student travel for Palmview High School students to attend the Peer Forward National Leadership Training in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, July 24th to the 28th.
So moved.
A motion by Mrs. Cantu, a second by Mr. Garza. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, ratification Raise Your Hand Texas Foundation Raising Blended Learners Grant Application.
Also move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Salinas, second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, 2019-2020 Texas Teacher Evaluation and Support Systems Appraisal Calendar.
Also move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Salinas, second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Under Human Resources, item number 1, proposed revisions by Board Policy, DNA Local Performance Appraisal Evaluation of Teachers.
So moved.
A motion by
second.
Mr. Cantu, a second by Mr. Salinas. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, under Human Resources, public hearing and approval of salary adjustments regarding payment in excess of contractual amount.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Cantu.
But we're
That's-
having
is
to
that
go,
the- is that one or no?
we have to take it into a hearing.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're going to a public hearing.
Just the time and if any.
I'm sorry. So at 12:38, we're going into public hearing.
I just have a
for-
question. This is in addition, Mr. Modine, to the additional work and employees that they have under them, correct? Then I'm for it. Also move for approval.
So I
Get out of
have,
the
We
exec-
gotta close.
get out of
we
here.
close the hearing 12:38 still. And I have a motion now by Mr. Salinas to approve item number 2 under Human Resources.
For the record, it's
Second.
additional work and additional employees under them, correct? so an adjustment, and then Mr. Chavez is the additional responsibilities and personnel. Also move with the recommendation as per Mr. Moody.
Again, a motion by Mr. Salinas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we're going to executive session, 12:39, under Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, and 551074. 12:39.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion under letter H, personnel, items 1, 2, 3, and 4 is discussed in executive session.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Salinas to approve items 1 through 4 as discussed in executive session. Second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And now we adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved to
I
adjourn.
have a motion by Mr. Salinas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cantu to adjourn this meeting. It is 1:17. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.